Hello, my name is Lauren, and I'm here as a space to help you learn what it looks, sounds, and feels like to be your true self, and ultimately move mountains in your life however that looks for you. Nobody else but you. Today's message I want to talk about is about achieving a goal. Whatever goal that has in mind for you, that comes to mind for you. You know, that could be relationships, work, diet, exercise, even just your personality, maybe working on your perfectionism and stuff, everything, anything, really, anything that is bothering you, that's coming up for you, that's bothering you. I thought of this analogy today because I was vacuuming my bedroom and I realized that there is too much stuff on the floor for me to actually vacuum. Specifically when I turned around a corner of my bed and realized that I hadn't cleared that section yet. And I was very annoyed and I was like, now I have to do this. So in that moment, it made me think, well, this is kind of like life, you know? You can't ever achieve a goal, say, of vacuuming your bedroom unless all the junk is cleared off your floor. If somebody was to come to you and be like, you should vacuum, you'd be really good at it. And you're like, no, have you seen this thing? And you can't even see the floor, there's so much junk everywhere, it's not worth it. It's just, no, totally not. And they're like, okay, I'm just saying, you'd be a really good vacuumer. And you're like, get away from me, this is, no, But once you actually get in there and maybe pick up an item or two, if you don't, it's just going to keep piling up over time, getting worse, and your life will look like a hoarder. But a hoarder of emotions, really. And heartache, and broken expectations, and grief, and bitterness, and just all of these terrible things. It's anything that makes us feel not happy. Is the junk that's covering and cluttering our floors in our lives. But if you decide one day to start picking that stuff up, out of just sheer anger, like, F all of this, I hate this feeling of being trapped in all of this, or you are like, somebody I love is like really telling me I need to clean up my room and I need to get that junk off my floor, so sure, fine, I'll satisfy them and just like play around with that idea. It's fine. As soon as you start picking up a pile of junk, just a small, like even one object off of your ground, off of your floor, and you see all of a sudden carpet there that you can vacuum, and you're like, oh shit, this could actually be a thing. You clear out those limiting beliefs in your life, and you start to actually believe in yourself that maybe that goal would be possible. And that is so cool when that happens. That moment is so incredible, but then it's like in life, you like stop, and then you look around, and you're like, but there's so much more junk, how long is this going to take? And it's terrifying, and you can fluctuate, it takes time, and there may be moments where you give up and pile more junk onto your floor, but then there are times you remember that moment of floor, of clarity, and you're like, no, I really want to work through this stuff, I'm going to do it. And eventually, you start cleaning off your floor so much that you can vacuum. You can reach that goal that, in this analogy, is vacuuming. But whatever that goal is. But the point is, once you have cleared off your floor, and once you have cleared off that junk on your floor, it's not even about vacuuming anymore. It's never about that goal. It's just about the feeling that goal gives you. And you may find that once you have cleaned off your floor, you are so satisfied with your life that it's not needed. You don't need it. Most of the time, the things that we think are going to fulfill us, they never will. And it always proves it to us, even if we do get that thing while still feeling all of those crappy emotions that we have. Once we have that thing, we're like going to the next best thing. That's the pattern that you'll see. But once we have this clarity and this vision in mind for ourselves, our internal selves, you know, where we store all of the junk or choose not to, that's what matters. And just achieving that goal is just a cherry on top, and it's just for fun. You vacuum your room because it feels better. It's, you know, it's just a little more enlightenment, and I want to continue this, and I'm following it not because I have to prove a point. Like, your room's clean now, you don't have any more points to prove. It's just, it feels better, and I want to keep cultivating that feeling. So that's one way to look at it. Another way that this shows up into our lives is almost the opposite. We have a bunch of junk on our floor, and the end goal is never in mind. You know, you don't even think that vacuuming exists or would interest you, you know? I mean, at first, whoever really does, nobody. I enjoy vacuuming now because it's enlightening. But most of the time it's like, I don't want to do this. This will show up into your life, this feeling of I don't really even know that vacuuming would be something that I want to do. It shows up in our real lives as, well, I don't really have a passion, or I don't really have anything that interests me. I don't have any hobbies. I don't have anything that excites me. Everything is just kind of boring. I just sit around and watch TV. The only reason you feel that way is because you have junk on your floor. Oh my god, I cannot express that enough. That what just came to mind was when I was in high school, I would go to school, be bored with boring people, and people weren't that boring. I had interesting friends, but for the most part, everybody else who surrounded me, I felt were really boring. And I would come home and I would sleep, and then I'd wake up to eat dinner, and then I'd sleep again, and I hated my life, and it was just so boring. I didn't have anything to go after. I didn't have anything that excited me. And now, literally everything excites me. I am, so, like, you should see my face. This is my face all the time. I'm like, holy shit, this is so cool. And I have goals in life now when I didn't before. And that was because at that time I had so much junk in my life. You know, there's so much tension in my family. My parents were fighting every single day. They were fighting with each other, with us, with screaming at the animals, like everything. And nothing against them. They were in their own junky rooms. And it wasn't until I left that environment and I left all the other shitty relationships and things and thoughts in myself that were no longer serving me. I looked at that junk and said, does this help me? There's gotta be something better. And I finally accepted that it was okay for me to ask that question. And once I cleared all of that junk from inside of me, everything else gained clarity, and all of a sudden my floor was clean, and I was like, you know what? I hear about this vacuuming thing, and that sounds pretty cool, and I might want to do it, just for shits and giggles, because it seems like it would be fun. And I have cleared out all of my junk, and I want to help others do that too. So that's the reverse of, you know, you have this goal in mind, but you can't see how you're going to get there. You don't see that it's possible, versus I don't even see a goal. What is a goal? And how can one get to it? Either way, both of these things show up in your life once you have a clear floor, once you have clarity in your life. And that is so important. Like, if you're sad and just feel like happy people suck and everything is shit and the world is out to get you and you're always going to fail and people are always going to prove you wrong and they're always going to be mean and they're never going to give you what you want, that's because you have junk on your floor. And it's not to say that I don't get these things. I still have junk showing up. Like, it's like, we're like trash yards, kind of. You know, people throw shit on us all the time. And we have to do something with that. But instead of just putting it and digging holes and burying it in them, we can transform that junk into life lessons and learn from them and actually appreciate them. the same way we can, instead of throwing out fruits and vegetables that have gone bad, we can make a compost out of them. Don't be afraid to try to just look at what might be the junk in your life. It's all about baby steps. Sometimes you don't have to even take a huge action to improve it or to overcome that. Just acknowledging it and that it's there is enough. To just let the child within you or the teenager or the adult from a couple days ago, just let them know, like, yeah, that person hurt me in this way. And I don't feel like I'm allowed to feel that because I know that they didn't intend to it or intend to do that. Or however that shows up to you, confusion about can I feel this way or like that's just the way things are. Just acknowledge that you're feeling all of that junk. You're feeling all of those thoughts that are holding you back without even realizing it. And my ultimate goal is to help you realize that that stuff is not normal. That stuff is not normal whatsoever. And you absolutely have the opportunity to go after these bigger dreams, or the dream of finding a dream, or just the dream of living a life that feels lighter, even if you don't know what that feeling is yet. So, you got this. Baby steps. Just acknowledge it. But start thinking about what junk is covering your floor.